great. Well, Austen, welcome to Us Weekly. It's so good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah,
Thanks for having
season
me.
10. How you feeling about it going in? Because last season, we had a little bit of a rough season.
Yeah.
How did you feel going into this season?
I feel wonderful. I feel like settled. I feel happy. I feel, far more settled than I did going into the previous season.
Mm-hmm. What changed?
Honestly, I think what changed, are two things. Therapy, and I'm dating somebody.
Yeah.
And dating somebody who, like, whether she knows it or not, is like a big part of, my happiness and like my, my inner peace. Like, she made me realize that not every relationship has to be like tumultuous and
hard.
Hard and create like very, very chill, and so that's been a big part of my overall happiness.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
How did you meet? I mean, you've been dating now for what, a year?
Yeah, so we started filming in March.
Okay.
And we began to date in the end of December.
Okay.
So yeah, it's coming up on
a year.
A year.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
And like, for me, it was crazy to say that I was dating somebody, right? Because I hadn't been able to confidently say that for years, right? And even when I confidently said it about Madison, something would happen quickly to like unravel, and then we'd separate, and then we'd come back, and I'd be like, "This is my," but I haven't called someone my girlfriend in a long time, so that was like a shock, to even say that. I mean, it's not so much of a shock now, but now to say like a year, I mean, we've been cruising.
Yeah, how does she fit in with the group dynamic? And will we see her a lot this season?
Yeah, so, she's not a cast member, of course. But you will see her. I take her out on a date. She goes out to meet my parents. She comes to this. She comes to a party here. Audrey's met all of the cast.
Okay.
I mean, in my opinion, like, she's not like me, let's say.
Okay.
Like, I'm at like a dinner table and I'm like, listen to what happened to me today. Everyone, shh, and that's not her, right? She's more of like a one-on-oneer. But if you don't like her, then I think it says more about you than it does about her, right? She's such like a kind and real, person,
Yeah.
which is what my parents said about her. They're like, she's so, real. And I'm like, and no dig at, anyone else that, like I've dated, especially from my parents, but she's just really lovely. So you will see her, she doesn't come on like the cast trip and stuff.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, Madison said that you told her that you found your Brett.
Yeah. Which, Madison told me too. She was like, look, man, Brett is very, he's much more calm than me, he's much more, reserved. And, and Madison wants to be the center of attention, and Brett's like, fine, do it so that I don't have to be. And Audrey is, like, that is her. And I told myself that, like, I can't, like, ignore this person, I can't, like, ignore this feeling, and
so could this be the one to get Austen to settle down for
good?
good?
It's an interesting thing, but we're certainly not, rushing anything. And we're just enjoying, she lives in Charlotte, so she doesn't live in Charleston, and that's fine. That's fine. It's just like a quick little drive, and it's nice.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. There was definitely some other changes this season with obviously Olivia not coming back. And I know that the two of you have hung out, without cameras and things like that. It seems like everybody's in a good place. Were you very disappointed that she wasn't returning?
I feel like that's a trap question.
Right?
Are you trapping me? I think that, especially after the reunion, I just thought, okay, I understand how in the beginning, she's very frustrated, she's very annoyed, feelings of anger, maybe even hatred at one point, towards me or towards Taylor. But then I thought that we had kind of, like moved on and moved out of it. And the way that she kept on going back into it, especially at the reunion. So Olivia and I haven't spoken much, you know, and obviously the decision for her to not come back has nothing to do with me. In fact, I'd probably love to bring her back, you know, just to torture me, right? But I mean, I think I was surprised that Olivia did not get asked back.
Yeah, same.
But it does make it a little easier, you know, for me to not have to like be constantly surrounded by, you know, someone who might harbor, you know, anger towards me or you know, like an ex-girlfriend being on the show.
Right, yeah.
So
like, there's only so many I can take.
yeah,
right.
yeah. You know, I mean, at one point, man, Craig told me, he was like, look, it all began to get better for me, man, once, you know, my ex kind of left, you know, the show. And it's kind of no different. I was like, hey, look, I'm not, you know, complaining too much. So I can like try to have like a normal, you know, relationship on camera without someone maybe yelling at me.
Right. Yeah.
Calling me horrible or something. I don't know.
It changes the dynamic.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously the dynamic between you and Taylor is different than last season. When I spoke to her, she's like, you know, we're in a good spot. We don't owe each other anything. Do you kind of feel the same way?
Yes. So basically just like took a step back from our relationship, you know, our friendship. It clearly ruffled a lot of people's feathers. A lot of people in, you know, the group were not happy about it. She began to date someone and I began to date someone, and it was like, maybe let's just, you know, so like I'll always root for her on the sidelines. But you know, and it's always great to see her out like at parties, you know, with our friends and stuff, but we are no longer, you know, talking as much as we used to and going out to lunches and all those things. And I think that is for the best. Yeah.
Are you surprised or happy that she kind of set these boundaries with Shep this season? She blocked him, can't really contact her.
I was more so just like impressed, right? Because I do think that Shep couldn't go a single day without bringing up Taylor. Like he would always, you know, bring her up. And whether it was like in like a romantic, you know, kind of way, or like I'm worried about her, I'm like, don't. Like, she doesn't want you to worry about her anymore. Like, stop it. Stop talking about Taylor, man. Everywhere we go, every conversation, you somehow work Taylor into it. And now all of a sudden we're talking about, you know, Taylor only. I'm like, she has a boyfriend, dude. Let it go. Yeah. Quit hanging out with like her parents. Quit like, you know, trying to interject yourself in her life. Quit trying to text her, you know, paragraphs. And, you know, this is something that I had talked to Taylor about a couple seasons back, right? Where I'm like, you need to have like a backbone, you know, with Shep. Like, so I guess that her blocking him and things like that is I was like,
you did it. You
know, just like block it, you know. And when you see him out, hey, nice to see you. I hope that your family's well. I hope your family's well. Thank you very much. You know, but Shep wanted so much more than that, and we were just like, let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Do you feel like he finally has?
I feel like he finally has.
That's good.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, but during the season, no.
No. We're going to see that kind of unravel. And the first episode kicks off with you, Shep, Craig, having this conversation about how he really felt that the two of you kind of dropped him when he felt like he needed you guys the most. Do you regret how you guys treated him after the reunion?
No, because this was like a little lesson to Shep. I was interested to see the approach that Shep took in his green screens. He played like, you know, the victim, when in reality, like, it was his, you know, drunken antics is like the reason that all this happened. It was like, I need like a break from you. I need to place like a boundary on you, and placing boundary on people can be healthy. I've never really placed one on him before. And I think that he knew that. And so he was like, okay, cool, if I can get like in front of Austen, you know, and then if like we meet up and we have a beer and I'm like, all is well, man, then he's like, okay, cool. You know, it's fine. I wanted him to sweat, and I wanted him to feel like, you know, some fire on his feet. And I wanted him to be like, okay, my behavior is affecting my relationship, so maybe I should change my behavior, you know, and then we can all come back. I mean, I always knew that we were gonna come back. I just wanted to see a little bit of a change. Sure. I mean, you know, Craig is so quick and he's so good at drawing boundaries, sometimes a little too good. Right. And I haven't been so good, so I wanted to, like, you know, really let him know, like, we got to change here, man. Like, you're like a liability to be out like in public with, man, sometimes. Like, I don't know if you're going to even do something and then I get, roped into it. Like, we can't have that anymore.
Sure.
So, yeah, I don't know how he flipped that around
Did he
to like, that like it's Austen like and Craig's fault.
Right.
Look inward, my friend. Look inward.
Did he change?
I think he's gotten better. I mean, he has been a rolling stone though. Like he has gathered no moss. He is in Charleston like 2 days a month.
Okay.
And he's just gone. So we keep in touch, often, but the guy has just been gone. He's in South Africa right now on like a 120-mile walk,
Wow.
So that's just like what he's been doing. So, but when I do see him, and during the season, like I can tell like a change, right? He's softer. I can tell that he wants, to meet someone perhaps, but we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
How would you characterize your friendship with Craig now? Because based on, the trailer, it seems like things really get heated between the two of you and your friendship really gets tested this season, if that's fair to say.
Yeah, that is fair to say. I feel that like right now, Craig and I are good. We're texting each other. But as you'll see in the season, it's basically just some growing pains. I wish that Craig would have more of a balance in his life. I wish that Craig would want to go out to dinner with like me and Audrey. And Craig is like a hermit. I wish he had more balance in his life, right? I understand that, his business is very important to him. But it's almost like he thinks that by hanging out that means like, let's go get drunk together. And I'm like, I don't care if you drink or don't drink. I just wish that he would have a little more balance in his life from friends and, work. And I guess that you'll see that in this season. And like low-key makes me look like, I want to hang out with you more, man. And,
don't forget about me.
Yeah, it's gonna make me look like a child, maybe, but like the message is there.
Yeah.
So.
Do you feel like the business success, has changed him?
Yes.
Yeah. How so?
Yeah.
Just like.
He smelled some success, which I'm very happy for him about, and I can already hear fans being like, jealousy. It's like, it's not. Okay, but sure it is. Yeah. Like I do want people to buy, my beer like that. Like I do, sure. But it's not like a nasty, jealousy. And I think that he is like, okay, people expect me to act like a certain way. So I need to act this way at all times. And, you'll see that being explored on the show.
Hopefully he finds that balance.
I would love it.
Yeah.
I would love it. Yeah.
I know we got to wrap soon, but I got to get your take on JT quitting the show. I know the two of you have had some issues. How did that take you by surprise?
The announcement was a bit, grandiose. My take is that the hypocrisy of it all is crazy. And the second that a mirror gets held in his face, rather than own it and take like accountability, he just runs for the hills. So it's kind of what I said at the reunion. Like, I can't wait for everyone to figure out exactly who you are. You can wear the mask that you put on, last season for only so long, and it will be taken off and you will be seen.
Think he's gone for good?
I don't see a path back.
Interesting.
In my opinion.
Yeah, he's kind of burned too many bridges.
His last one was Venita. So, and I don't think that Venita's very pleased with him. I didn't have to deal with him much, this year, right? So it was like him just kind of, you'll see. You'll see.
You'll see. It's gonna be a wild ride of a season,
yeah,
I'm sure.
I think so. I think it's gonna be a good one.
I'm sure. It's always a good one. Austen, thank you so much for
Yes,
coming by. As
thank you.
always, so good to see you, and can't wait.